As nations around the world battle to turn the tide of the COVID-19 second wave, experts are warning we're in for a tough start to 2021 as well.
We could still see a very severe peak. Particularly, I think probably in January is when I predict that would be most likely if we take our foot off the pedal on this.
A third wave is possible, but it's also preventable. So we don't have to live through it again. We must avoid the mistakes of the summer by not wasting time and listening to those who speak loudly about these untruths that another outbreak is impossible.
The UK, France and Germany have all been implementing various lockdowns and restrictions to fight the second wave, with German officials discussing the necessity of stricter measures. Chancellor Angela Merkel says they may not be sufficient.
Relying on hope won't help us. The situation is getting very serious. These measures will not be enough to get us through the winter.
My colleague Union O'Neill discussed the possible third wave with our guests.
COVID-19 infection, the SARS-2 virus, would not really care whether it is a Christmas, Diwali, or the Eid or anything. Anytime the virus would get the chance to come across with the susceptible population, it's going to infect, and that is going to very likely happen because of the mixing we will be seeing during the Christmas time.
December, January time was when we first started really to discover what the virus is all about. The pandemic intensified into the summer and now again. Are we facing the same scenario in 2021? Do you think this is going to be a pattern?
I think 2021 would certainly be different than what we have had December, January in 2020, primarily because we are seeing the vaccine coming into the human arms, and of course it would take a little bit of time before it get into the general public to achieve the herd immunity so that we can break the transmission chain of the virus. But because of the vaccine, 2021 will be different.
We've barely reached a plateau in this second wave. Should the focus not be more in battling the disease now, trying to break it instead of the what-ifs of a third wave?
It's obviously a brand new novel situation that we're all having to deal with. First and foremost, we've got to do what's best in terms of the public health issue. I had the virus myself earlier several months ago. I think a lot of us around the world have had it, or know people who've had it, know people who've died. So a third wave coming is obviously absolutely frightening, and I do think that it's wearing on us as humans, as individuals. But on the other hand, we've got to let the public health experts really drive this and see this to an end so that we can really get on with life as we know it.
Peter, talk of a third wave might dampen spirits, but just how important is it for businesses to get at least some of their seasonal trade in? Because you hear many stories of businesses having a tough year and they make it back almost on a good Christmas, a good New Year. If that's not here, there's businesses that are going to close and they don't care too much about a third wave or talk of it.
We have bigger companies getting bigger, smaller companies going out of business. The gap is widening, and people who are taking the brunt of lockdowns are the poor, are single moms, they're people, their kids, they're educating, they're people who can least afford to have them. We have had lots of bankruptcies, we've had tons of unemployment. So, I mean, it's been a mess. I would hope that this third time we might do something more close to focus protection, where we let people work, we let businesses open, but we tell people who are either elderly or who have comorbidities that they are the ones who should stay inside, be careful not to be infected, that sort of thing.